Hi folks, John with the Wingman115 channel. Thank you so much for checking in this evening. This is a live show, unannounced. I thought I would just go like cold and we do it. That's just the way I like doing stuff, just like winging it. So if you don't see it on the live broadcast, then I'll post it as well as a replay. So let's just jump right into it. Been a crazy summer. The content has been kind of slow coming out, and part of the reason behind that, here, let me scroll so I can see comments a little bit, so I can see the messages. Got it. Is that YouTube has been kind of suppressing the channel a little bit. I hate to say shadow ban, but I think they've been shadow banning channels like mine that have adult type, more masculine content. Hey guys, hey Rick, how you doing, bud? So we've been fighting a good fight, but every time I upload a video, I immediately get a notice that my videos are demonetized, that, quote, they're not suitable for advertising. And, you know, it's not really about the AdSense money. It's nice, it pays for gas, stuff like that. But I'm more worried about, hey, Space Ghost from San Diego. They're suppressing how my videos are coming up in like recommended videos. So unless you're a subscriber, unless you hit that bell, unless you share, I mean, I've seen my views go from a couple thousand views per video down to just hundreds of views per video. And I kind of take a lot of time and effort to try to put out the best video content, quality wise, content wise, for you folks out there. But it's hard when you're only getting, 300 views, 400 views. So I'm going to stay in the fight. Hopefully YouTube doesn't, just automatically pull the channel. They did on one of my subscribers who had a channel, Justin Painter. He's a young man in Colorado that I kind of been mentoring for a while. And I encouraged him, he had a channel, I encouraged him to put more content up, and he lives on a cattle ranch in Colorado, just south of Colorado Springs. Well, he texted me probably about 2 weeks ago that YouTube has just shut his channel down and took all his videos off and all that stuff. So, any day could be the day. We'll keep posting content, but just so you know that YouTube could be pulling the plug at any time. So, as normal here, we got Tex Grebner being the ultimate troll tonight in the comment section. Thanks, Tex. Appreciate your viewership. Just quick update. Have a knife coming out. It's going to be made by Work Tough Gear. Now, I did a video on this knife, just a quick rundown on it. I'm calling this one the Mount Laguna because Mount Laguna is what basically started the whole channel. Most of my adult life out here in San Diego, I've spent either mountain biking, hiking, or hunting up in the Mount Laguna area. I love that area. There's just something about that area that is just peaceful for the soul. And I thought when naming this knife, there was no better homage than to pay respect to the area that started it all. Now, hopefully I'll be able to give you guys more information soon when the release of this Mount Laguna hunting knife will be coming out. And when that happens, I will be sharing it with you folks. So if you follow along on Instagram and on my Facebook page, that's the best way to get updates like Johnny on the spot. rather than me having to do a live broadcast or to do a video and post it. It just seems like it's a more user-friendly area to be able to get the word out. But I mean, Bowler K110. It's a Austrian D2 steel. Thank you very much, Clint Valley. I appreciate the shout out that you guys love the channel. I spent 3 years designing this knife. I showed it to a bunch of my friends in the industry, and I'm going to be honest. I had to take some pretty constructive criticism. They came back. They said, "Hey, think about this. Maybe change this. Have you thought about this?" And because I respect them and their opinion, I made some changes, and this is the final cut. The biggest thing about a knife is the handle, and we worked hard on the handle to get it right. As you can see, I got a little bit of a curve to it. We got a choil up in the front, scalloped out so you can hold it multiple ways if you're skinning. And this is going to be, it's not meant for bushcraft. You can do bushcraft with it if you like, but the original design is meant as a skinning knife, gutting fish, just basic all-around utility camping knife, hunting knife. And kind of got the idea from basically the knives that my dad and my grandfather carried up in northern Maine back in the day. We're going with a Scandivex grind on this knife. And Scandivex, let me tell you what, Work Tough Gear has Scandivex down really well. And this bad boy, the Bowler K110 steel, holds an edge really good. Have a 90-degree spine on there. Made it drop point with a little bit of a belly so you can get up in there. You can hold that blade so you can get in there, and if you got to cape an animal out, if you got your trap line. California recently, they outlawed trapping in California. So reason number 408 to move out. Handles are going to be G10 and liners. Now, the color variant, I think we're running with black right out the gate on this. Hey Brian, how you doing, bud? And we may do some color variants, and there may also be a Wingman115 channel edition. So we're still working out the details on some stuff, but coming soon. This will be sold. No Kickstarter campaign. We're just going out the gate. Going to be on Amazon and on Work Tough Gear's website. So look for that in the near future. We're going to be doing a Kydex sheath. Went with a taco style sheath, and we're going to do a tech version of a tech lock in the back. So if you have a belt variant in size between 1 inch and over 2 inch, you can adjust that to fit on your belt anyway, whether you like carrying it straight up, or if you're doing a cross draw, or if you're carrying it scout style. I wanted to make it to where it is utilitarian. And I'm trying to get with a local sheath maker to do custom leather sheaths as well. So let's see, so smooth at a fire starter. So yeah, we put a bow drill divot on there. I wanted to make it to where you could also keep it in the sheath in the way that we designed the sheath with this system. So if you had a effective bow drill fire, you could do that. 90-degree spine, all that good stuff. I'm looking to keep this at a price point under $100. So for all you hardworking folks out there, uh, somewhere in that $100, under $100 range. So, Michael, we're calling this the Mount Laguna hunting knife. So that'll be coming soon here from Work Tough Gear and on the channel. When I find out about the leather sheath, I will pass that on to you guys and let you know. I gotta work out the arrangements with the gentleman here local in San Diego. Does great work. One of my friends made a custom version, let me find it, of this knife. So I'm hoping to be able to get this sheath maker. And one of my buddies, Steve from 73 Forge, made his interpretation of my design. Just beautiful. And I believe he took that to 4,000 grit, either 4,000 or 5,000 grit. And I think he spent, gosh, I want to say 10 or 12 hours just polishing the blade, but really close to the production model design. And when he first did it, his comment was, you know, about the handles, that he didn't know how they were going to feel. Then he messaged me later on and he said that he was a convert, that he really loved the handle design and the way that we did the choil in there. So I'm hoping I'm going to get in contact with the gentleman that made the sheath for the custom version, and we'll have that available for you guys. It looks like Tex Grebner's leaving now. See you later there, Tex the troll. So everybody say bye to Tex. But we got some other videos coming down the pipe. I'm doing a video review coming up real soon on a Mora. I believe this is the Spark. It's got a fire steel in the handle. So look for a video coming up real soon on this. This is a stainless steel. Mike, if you're wondering about the Work Tough Gear, my knife, it's going to be made out of Bowler K110. That's an Austrian stainless. That's a D2 type steel. Really good. I've tested a couple knives from Work Tough Gear that had that steel. It is high quality steel, no doubt about it. So next up, also have a stove, and let me get my show notes here real quick. We're doing this on the fly. Show note from Simple Theory Gear. This is the F2S. Now, Simple Theory Gear is just a mom and pop company, just a small little startup, and they sent me a stove to test out. They're doing a Kickstarter campaign. It is launching October 1st, and you guys know how much I love supporting the little guy, the mom and pop startup cottage industry businesses. So we're going to be doing a just detailed video on the F2S. This is a great system. I like how just stuff stows in here. It's compact. If you have one of those Stanley cook sets that is kind of like a pot that's like the water bottle, it will fit right down inside of this. So the whole system is self-contained, and I've given it a go a couple times just here in the backyard, and works really well. So look for a video coming down the pipe on that. On a side note, just stuff that's been occupying my time, and I'm probably gonna wind up doing a video on that, is a lot of people aren't aware that I also do wood burning, which is called pyrography. So with that, I've done a few pieces. Now, if you follow along, like I said, on Facebook and Instagram, you've seen me probably flooding just my channel pages with some of my art. But this is a little taste of what I do. And this is still work in progress. I gotta make a frame for this, but we'll get up close a little bit. So I have a custom wood burner that I use. I use a Optima 1 dual wood burner. I can't get it out right now, but I use different styluses. I've got about 20 different styluses that I use. So I've been making archery hangers, like almost like the concept of that. I didn't make that. I bought that at Hobby Lobby. But if you go to my pages, you'll see I've burned different designs on wood, and then I frame it, and then I have pegs on there where you can hang all your archery tackle, your bows, your quivers and such. So it's just something different. Always foot pedal controls. Now, here, I'm just gonna grab this so you can see real quick. Let me see. Everything's reversed here. Right here. Desk is all cluttered up. You know, this is what happens when you're an artist. You're just doing a bunch of different things. But this is the unit right here, and you can control the temperature. It has dual stylus on there, so I can switch from one side to the other as I'm doing work, whether I'm shading or outlining, and that makes it really fun to do, because when you're doing this, you're going to need a couple different stylus as you're doing it. One to do your outlining, one to do your shading and such. So this is just a project. I'll probably do a review. Do I take orders? My pops would love stuff like that. I haven't, just because I feel I'm not at a level yet that I think I'm good enough to, sell art. What I've been doing is I've been making stuff and I've been gifting it to friends. So one of my buddies, Jaime De La Pata, who has an archery school, JLD Instinctive Archery. Yes, I have thought about doing rifle stocks. I have a air gun, a Benjamin Discovery, that I think I might do a project on. The only thing when you do the rifle stocks and such is that the wood has to be bare. You cannot burn through the lacquer. That one, it's going to mess up your wood burning system, and I don't want to do that. Two, the fumes are toxic, so you got to be careful when you do that. But getting back, I made a bow hanger for him as well. So I burned his logo, and then he had some tribal stuff that he wanted on there, and came out pretty fair. So he's got it hanging up in his little archery dojo. But that's pretty much in a nutshell what we got going on. I've been informed by Brady, if you guys know, if you're in the SoCal area, Brady runs the San Diego School of Survival, and we've been doing the Mountain Man Rendezvous, Modern Mountain Man Rendezvous, and thank you. I love his new hat. Bow and Arrow Shop, these guys are good guys out there. Bruce and the gang, my nephew works out there. They know their stuff. Great customer service. And the Mountain Man Rendezvous is coming up in November. I have a link on my Facebook page. Unfortunately, I won't be able to attend this year, but there's a lot of good folks that's going to be there attending, and it's basically 3 days of wilderness skills. So if anybody's attended in the past or seen any of my videos, you guys know that they teach you how to do wild edibles. There's a navigation. Last year we even had a plane flyover, so we did like signaling planes and rescuing. Let's see, Rick's asked me if I'm going to SHOT Show. I don't know yet. SHOT Show, my dance card has been kind of full this year. But the reason I can't go to the Mountain Man Rendezvous or to Blade West, which I really would like to do to be able to kind of introduce this. My daughter is turning 30, so she wanted to go to Cabo, down at Cabo San Lucas in Mexico. So we're going to be going with my daughter and her husband. My wife's coming with us. We're going down there for her 30th birthday. Time flies by way too fast. Can't even think that my baby girl is going to be 30 this year. Turning 30. So, you know what? Family first. I love you guys out there, but, you know, I love my family, and you got to put family first. So, there'll always be other gatherings and rendezvous to go to. I would like to go to SHOT Show, but just don't know yet with my work. Sometimes, like last year, my schedule, it was kind of tough to be able to do that. So with that, I don't know. I'd like to be able to do a couple live shows with Andy Tran and get back to doing some of those now that he kind of has a semi-normal schedule. But we've been kind of like ships in the night. Thanks, Rick. I appreciate that. I really do. But it's been kind of tough. So, you know, with the channel, it just takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of my days off. And I love doing it. But like I said, YouTube is kind of shadow banning the content. All of us creators that do kind of more masculine, outdoorsy, genre type stuff. So, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm looking for another place to land to post videos, but right now YouTube is basically the only platform that has an audience. You know, if I had 1,000 loyal viewers every video, not a problem. But I'm even seeing channels that have, you know, 150,000 subscribers, 200,000 subscribers, and they're getting 900 views, 1,000 views. Hey, that's less than 1% of their subscribers. So that's kind of crazy. So we know that, you know, there's crazy stuff going on. One of my friends, Twang and Bang, Cameron, I've seen his channel too. You know, he's got a lot of subs. His views have been cut big time as well. So I know a lot of my peers out there. I've been talking to them offline. They kind of been saying the same. I'm not throwing my hat down yet and throwing the towel in. Still in the fight. Just probably gonna be a little more choosing on the video content that I put out. And as you guys know, I love doing traditional archery. Got a lot of traditional archery stuff lined up with Jaime. I love Jaime because he brings a different type of perspective to shooting bow, which is kind of cool because I've been doing this for a long time. It's nice to get a fresh perspective in that. So we go out, we play around. We also have a video that we're probably going to be producing real soon, and it kind of relates to the new Rambo movie. So that'll be a fun one. Look for that. I don't want to give the details because somebody else is going to jump on that train, baby, and, you know, make the video. But it's going to be a Rambo-esque video, be entertaining. We've been doing a lot of research on it, and went and seen the new movie. I liked it. Of course, I've been a Rambo fan all my life, but, you know, I understand Stallone's 73. There's only so much you can do. But let me tell you, some of the stuff he's done, man, it's crazy. So at this point, if you guys want, I'll open it up for questions. If you guys have any, just conversation pieces. If you guys want to talk for a little bit, and then I won't take up too much more of your time. We'll get back to the regular scheduled broadcast. But if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, throw them out there. I'll do my best to answer them for you right now. Let me see if I can pull up comments here. See if it'll show. No? Nobody's got any comments? We'll give it a minute and then we'll If nobody's got anything, then we'll call it a day. But as of right now, I'm just waiting on us finalizing the knife, and then thanks, Rick. I appreciate it. Yeah, please do call me. We need to get caught up. And if you guys aren't aware, check out Rick Ward's channel, the Urban Air Gunner. And I think Rick, what's the name of the metal detecting channel? Is it Relic Hunting with Rick or something like that? You guys know, and I posted a couple of videos where I use a Garrett metal detector and go out. So does Rick. The only thing is, Rick lives in a really cool part of the country that has a lot of cool history in it. Civil War history, maybe even colonial stuff. Garen, how you doing? So he comes across some really cool stuff. Whereas it is Relic Hunting with Rick. Okay, yeah. Check out Rick's channel if you like metal detecting, if you like just living history. I'm telling you, it's going to be entertaining. Do some cool stuff, and he finds some cool stuff as well. Me and my nephew Jared, he's been featured a couple times on the channel with me. We both have Garrett metal detectors. We hit the beach last week, and hey, no problem, Rick. I'll tell you what, mostly I found was a lot of fish hooks out there on the beach. It was crazy. But the thing is, you never know. It's an Easter egg hunt. Brian's asking when I'm headed back to Maine. I don't have anything lined up as of right now. Last year at this time, I was back there with Mom, who, I want to say, she's 81 or 82. And with my nephew Jared, and we were bird hunting. It was awesome. The trees were turning color. It was just a great time to go. And some of the photos that I've seen right now in the town that was next to us, the Ashland Police Department posted a photo because their cruiser is white. Just all the trees as like reds, greens, yellows, just beautiful looking colors. And it might be moose season right now back there. Usually like the last week of September, going into October, because that's how it played out last year. But had a blast. I wish I could go back there more and spend time with Mom. Just work commitments and just life in general just takes its toll sometimes. But we're out here. We're exploring the Southwest. I'm looking, hopefully, to do a treasure hunt with a fellow YouTuber here in SoCal. He's also into Bigfoot, doing all that good stuff. So we might do some campy, fun, exploratory stuff. He knows his history of SoCal big time. Just has a great channel, and we're working out the details right now. Hopefully we'll be able to do a collab and meet up. It's just the schedules. So, you know, it's just life, how it is. But we're shooting our bows daily on the side of the house. We're making videos. We're designing stuff. We're doing wood burning. Life is good. Just couldn't ask for more. And I just want to take the time before I close out. I need to come to video on my 20 acre spread true Civil War. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool to dig around on a property like that. You know, out here it's hard to get permissions to go out and do metal detecting because people, I mean, there's a lot of crazy people out there in general. So, you know, people are kind of leery letting them go on their property and start just digging holes. But, you know, that would be cool to go on someone's ranch. Let's see, knife looks great. Want one, keep us informed. I will. We will be doing a, like a live broadcast when we go live with this knife. And I think the first run is going to be either 50. I want to say either 50 or 100. So they're going to go fast. So uh, be ready, I would say, in the next month or so. Because when they go out, let me tell you, they're going to sell fast. Like I said, we put it in a price range, around that $100 price range, where I wanted to make it where the average working person that works hard for their money can afford to have a quality knife and not break the bank and still be able to put gas in the truck to get to work and have lunch money for the roach coach, whatever. So that's our plan, and I think we hit it, and I'm pretty proud of this. It's going to be fun, but yeah, I just want to say thank you guys. Thank you guys for all the support over the years. Um, and I appreciate you guys watching right now, taking time out of your evening, your busy day, and joining me just listen to a guy ramble. Let's see, good place near here to metal detect. That would be cool. You got to be careful in a lot of places, especially if it's national forest land. Anywhere that's state, federal, whatever, you have to keep in mind that they have the antiquities law, that you just can't be out there and digging up artifacts. So you got to be pretty much on private land to do that with permission, to be digging, to be searching. If you're coin shooting, you can go out and coin shoot on public land, no problem. But a lot of areas, I've had rangers come and ask me, "Hey, what are you doing?" I just tell them, "Hey, I'm coin shooting. We're just looking for change, seeing what's out here," and then they're like, "Okay, but if you're digging around and you're looking to find like old school stuff, you got to be careful. You got to know the laws in your area, your state, your local, and federal laws, because you can get in a lot of trouble. Back east, there's a lot of private land, big land, so a lot of farmers. You can go out in the fields with their permission, but out here, there's a lot of BLM land. All the open spaces are like that. It's either BLM land, national forest, and you just got to be careful when you do that. So just, I don't want to give you the wrong information and then you guys run out and get a detector, and the first thing you do is you find something big posted online, and then all of a sudden, the feds are knocking on your door going, "Hey, can you come with us?" So Rick, we definitely need to hook up, and I would love to metal detect in Georgia. That would be so cool, especially around, excuse me, the old creeks and creek crossings and stuff like that. Guarantee. Thank you very much, Abraham. I appreciate that. Same to you. These old creek crossings, and old ferry landings and such, I guarantee there's all sorts of stuff that has fallen into the water. And everybody, like I've talked to folks down at the beach, and they go, "Don't come here because this place is picked over." Let me tell you what, people are dropping stuff all the time. My nephew recently found an iPhone, which he was able to charge it up, and the person called that phone, and he was actually able to do the Good Samaritan thing and return that phone to that person. So that person got their iPhone, which is going for what, $500, $600, $700, returned to him. So that was really cool. He's found rings. He seems to be a magnet for finding good stuff. I find all the trash. I find all the pop tops. I find all the damn pull tabs, the fishing hooks and such. He finds all the good stuff. So I go out there and I clean the beach for him to go out and find all the primo stuff. But we have a good time out there, just enjoying life and having fun, and that's what it's all about, making memories with your family, with your friends, all that good stuff. So Let's see. A friend found a tooth from a saber-toothed tiger in a river. That would be cool. You know, that's the thing about out west here. You could find all sorts of like fossils and such like that because I like panning for gold. When we go up to the Mount Shasta area, there's a couple places up there where I go a little bit of gold mining in some of the creeks and the rivers up there. Have a great time doing that. If we had more water flowing down here, I would definitely do it. They do a lot of dry panning down here, and they have machines and gear for that. But I just have too many hobbies to invest into all that good stuff because I have access right now to a gold mine in the desert that they say still has, he said, like 400,000 ounces still on the claim. So that might be something later on. Rick, if you come out here, I'll take you out there. We got to do it in the wintertime though, because summertime just way too hot. But it's fun. It's fun to go out and do that stuff. Especially, take care, Rick. You have a good night. Out here in the West with all the history, Julian, California was founded basically on gold mining, and that place was a boom town. Banner, Scissors Crossing, just a lot of like old school West history out here. Let's see, you remind me of one of the people who run the Outdoor Channel. I wish, hey, if Outdoor Channel wants to hire me to do a show, I am available to do a show. Now, that would be a cool idea. Me and Rick Ward, the urban air gunner, basically doing like living history, because Rick knows his history, especially on in the Texas area. He grew up in Texas, and now he lives in Georgia. And him just being on the rodeo circuit, he just knows that whole area. So that would be a cool show. So if there's a producer, or you know a producer, that would be fun. Green Mountain Metal Detecting has a channel. A man finds Spanish coins. Yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of stuff. Well, if you want to mix up the channel, I've done metal detecting on the channel. I think a lot of people, I think the problem with my channel is this. I think I'm too diverse, almost. And that's okay. I think that's kept me from getting more subscribers. Because there's people that just like knife channels. There's people that just like bushcraft channels. There's people that just like airgun channels. And that's cool. But I don't do the bushcraft stuff, but I do air guns. I do archery. I do knife reviews. I do tactical backpacks. I do a bunch of different treasure hunting. And I think people sign on and then they go, and then maybe they sign on for me metal detecting, and then they see a knife review and then they go, oh my God, I didn't sign on for this. And then they just don't watch anymore, which is okay. You know, hey, I look at each video as an opportunity to earn your viewership and to and just earn your time. Time's the only thing you have, and any person that takes the time to watch my videos. I say our videos because I do it with Jaime, I do it with my nephew, I do it with a bunch of different people on the channel. I mean, mass respect. I appreciate it, and I've learned so much from you folks out there, especially in the comments, and I made so many good friends over the years just from subscribers and viewers, which is awesome. This is the one good thing. You know, there's a lot of people complaining about the genre and about YouTube and such, and yeah, I've kind of complained a little bit tonight, but let me tell you what, there's a lot of good stuff too, and it is what you make it. If you come in with a negative attitude and you come in with that complainer attitude, then you're going to reap what you sow. But I've always had an attitude of gratitude. I love what I do. This is my hobby, and a lot of people think, oh yeah, he's got this YouTube channel, he's got almost 40,000 subscribers, doing this, doing that. let me tell you what, I'm just a working stiff like everybody else. I work my 10-hour day, come home, I try to produce content, still be a husband, still be a dad, and we have fun doing it. Luckily, I have a wife that lets me go out and do all this crazy stuff that I do, and it's just awesome. It's just been an awesome ride, and I have you guys to thank. I've been doing this since 2006. I mean, I look back the other day and I go, man, 2006. I'm not that old, but apparently I am. I had to look at my driver's license, but I was like, man, the time just goes by fast, and I'm enjoying the ride. And you guys, let me know if you want to see some content that's different. Throw it out there. If I can physically do it, let's see. Be interested in make pemmican recipe. I might just try that, because one of my all-time best videos, which absolutely sucks for production quality, is my how to make beef jerky video. Is the absolute best, most watched, most watch time, most comments, is how to make beef jerky, and I might have to try that. So I appreciate that. I make beef jerky probably about 5 or 6 times a year. It's really fun to do. I have a Nesco food dehydrator that has a temperature setting on it, so I can adjust the temp settings, and I have, I think, 11 trays. So if you guys haven't seen that video, go check it out, how to make beef jerky. I'll tell you right now, the video quality sucks, but the message was good on that video. And if I had, I wouldn't change anything on that video, because it probably would not get the views. Let's see. When you are coming back east, love the dense scenery shots of your channel over the years. Thanks. Gonna make beef jerky now. You gotta make beef jerky. I mean, it saves you bucks. Now, I use bottom round roast. Here's what I do. I buy bottom round roast when it's on sale. I watch many hobby channels because I was forced to stop working. Always learning and apply what I can do. That's cool. Me too, actually. I'm a fan. My problem is when I'm not making videos, I'm watching way too many videos. But that's how I learn to do stuff like this. Now, I've been doing this probably, off and on. I want to say ever since I was probably 7 or 8 years old. My dad used to do rifle stocks. That's how I got into doing it. And I didn't really get uber serious till probably about a year ago, and then I bought the Optima, and then I started really deep diving into it, and I love it. But gentleman had first video of yours I saw was the one of the sharp finger. It got me hooked. You know what? Let's see. We're live, man. That's the cool thing about live. I used to keep it in the drawer right by my desk, but that sharp finger, let me tell you, my dad gave me that knife, and I think I called that video, because I've done almost 700 videos, I think I called it Knives of Our Fathers or something like that. And really, it just really meant a lot to me, because my dad passed away. He was 49 years old. I was 24 when I got the news on Easter Sunday that my father passed. And that was a crazy week. I might just do a video on that, about perseverance and being able to push through. That was a crazy week. I get a phone call from my mom. I'm gonna do a quick ramble here. Phone call from my mom, Easter Sunday. Your dad had a massive heart attack. He's got less than 48 hours. The docs are giving him to live. I just had a new job. My daughter was probably a year old, maybe, something like that. So we're talking almost 30 years ago. And so I'm in San Diego, and mom and dad's up in northern Maine. So I fly home, take care of business. Dad seems okay for that week. And when I get home, I'm working, and then that Thursday, um, my wife comes to work, and I see her, and I just knew, that Pops had passed, and had to fly back. It was in April. It was a mess because if you guys live in the north, you guys know you don't bury anybody when the ground's froze. So had to deal with all that stuff. I was a young guy, 24. Um, I'd been out of the Navy a couple years. I was working aerospace. Then aerospace died. I jumped over to a different job, and when I got back from the funeral, the place that I was working at said, "Oh, you missed too much time. You didn't make probation." So like within a week, Pops dies. I lose my job. I came home that night. My wife's got a house full of company, and she's like, what are you doing? What are you doing here? You're supposed to be at work." I go, "Can let me go." They said I missed too much time, and it just happens. So instead of being bitter about it, she goes, "Oh my God, what are we gonna do?" I go, "Well, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go to dinner. We're all gonna go to dinner, and we're gonna just celebrate. And Monday, we'll just pick up the pieces and start over." And you know what? Everything works out. A couple weeks later, found another job. Everything worked out, and the rest is history. But just crazy how that works. But when I look at that blade, I always think of Pops. I always think of my dad. I think of the years that we spent together as I was a young guy growing up in northern Maine, doing my trap line, hunting and fishing with them. It was just a good time in the 70s and early 80s, just to be a teenage boy growing up, especially up there, because you could just do so much. And I mean, I remember being like 15, 16, and you were treated like a man. You were expected to do man stuff. Um, you had the responsibilities like that. Like I tell folks, when they think back, wow, 70s was great. Yes, they were, Steve. Um, when I tell folks that I used to work for the Hot Shots up in northern Maine, and they're like, "How old were you?" I go, "Dude, I got on the Hot Shots when I was 15 years old." And they're like, 15? I go, "Dude, you could never do that today. You would never let a 15-year-old work with machinery, bulldozers, driving dump trucks, driving the forestry fire engine." We used to be part of a helitack crew, where there was a group of 4 of us, 5 of us, and when they'd have lightning strikes or whatever, if they could get to it with a helicopter, we'd fly out in an old UH-1 Huey. And that was a crazy story too, because that pilot was like a Vietnam vet, and he was like freaking crazy when we used to fly to these fires. He'd try to get us sick in the back of the helo. It was just nuts. Or we had an old plane, if people remember, the one's called the Beaver. It's like an 8 or 9-cylinder rotary engine. I mean, they're old school planes. They're probably from like the late 30s, early 40s, but they're great bush planes, and you can carry a lot of stuff. So we would go with chainsaws, we would go with pumps, we would go with hoses, we would go with all that stuff. And they'd drop us off, and all the older guys, and I'm thinking older, like guys in their late 20s, early 30s, they're all complaining, out there. Me, I'm loving that stuff, man. We're in the action, we're in it. And it was like 1980, and I'm making $10 or $10.50 an hour as a kid. I'm like, I'm in heaven. It was just a great time to grow up in northern Maine. It was just awesome time, and maybe I'll do a series on that. The only problem is that all my good old photos and stuff that I had, unfortunately, I had a house fire here in 2009, and a lot of that stuff got taken out and destroyed in that house fire. But fought forest fires in central PA as a teenager in the 70s. See, Steve knows what I'm talking about. I mean, it was just a good time to grow up, man. Driving those fire engines. And here's, you guys probably wondering, how's a 15-year-old get recruited to do this? Well, one, we used to hang out down at the Forest Service station and just be a pain in the ass, just hanging out, you know. And two, I was in Boy Scouts for probably 10 or 11 years. I started in Cub Scouts, then I went to Boy Scouts and all that stuff. And I only, hey, how you doing? Thrifty VG. Only made it to Star Scout because I just like doing the high adventure. We had a scoutmaster, his name was Bruce Ricketts. Mr. Ricketts, he was our 5th grade teacher. He was the gentleman that started the troop. And God bless him, he didn't have any kids, but you know, he just wanted to start a troop and basically keep us out of trouble, doing fun stuff. And so I remember, because you were supposed to be like 11 years old to be in Boy Scouts, and I was like 10 and a half. And we were forming the troop, and they made an exception. Steve, we got a lot in common, dude. They made an exception to like 5 or 6 of us kids that were like 10. We were all in the same grade. And so we got into Scouts. We were like 10 and just had a fun time. Mr. Ricketts was a school teacher. He was 5th grade school teacher, and he was also the principal of the grade school that we went to up there in Portage, Maine. And summertime, we were doing high adventure stuff, going on the Allagash Wilderness Waterway for a week or 2 at a time. We would do, you know, week-long stints out in the woods. Wilderness Survival Merit Badge was actually Wilderness Survival Merit Badge. I remember that. We had to spend like 3 days out in the bush. I'm like 13 years old, and the only thing you could bring with you was just the clothes that you had, a jacket, and a knife, and I think matches. And then we caught fish somehow. I'm trying to think how we caught fish. I think we made like a little dam and kind of herded the fish into one area, then just started taking big rocks and slapping the water just to numb the fish enough to be able to run down and grab them, throw them on the beach. But we were pretty hungry. I mean, after a day or 2 of that, it was the real deal. I made a lean-to, and I remember this. I thought I worked really good on it with the boughs and stuff and getting it all weed and stuff. And then at night, we had a night where it wasn't a heavy rain, you know, like a heavy drizzle, and I got pretty wet. So it wasn't that good of a shelter. But, you know, hey, when you're 12, 13, whatever, you know, that's how you learn from doing that. We used to do a lot of winter camping. We used to go to a lot of these camporees. They used to call them winter ramas. Oh man, hope it all stays well. This channel, wives. Yes, thank you. We used to do these winter ramas at Loring Air Force Base up there in Aroostook County, which was probably about an hour drive from where I lived in Portage Lake. And we used to go do these competitions, and we would make like snow caves and then put boughs in them, and then basically put a candle in there. It would stay somewhere around 30 degrees, where at night it was probably below 0. And we used to do stuff like that. It was just a great time to grow up. But it's crazy how the story bounces from Knives of Our Fathers to that to this. But it's, you know, so you guys know a little bit more about me. When I was 15, I joined the forestry crew. It was the best thing. Yeah, I mean, that's what you did. You know, it was just, you learned how to work. I feel bad for kids today because they don't have those opportunities. They're not allowed to do it. One, because everything is just so legally liable for stuff now that, could you imagine giving a 15-year-old a chainsaw nowadays? You know, the first thing you think of, oh my gosh, this is going to be some sort of comp claim. It's just nuts. But back then, we were just expected, like I said, just to man up and get her done. Maybe I'll do a video too on, my dad used to shoot semi-pro. I think I have a couple photos. He used to shoot handguns. And I used to be like the assistant. My whole job, like growing up, was loading bullets for my dad. We were either casting lead, we had a 4-cavity mold, 148 grain, 38 special, Lyman, mold. And during the winter, all we did was cast lead all winter long. My dad was a mechanic, so he had access to lead, and I mean, we had 55-gallon drums just full of lead, and we would just do that. And then during the summer, when I wasn't mowing the 2-acre lawn that we had with a push mower, I was loading rounds for pops. And then we went to what they used to call a turkey shoot. It was like community. Uh, once kicked a cottonmouth moccasin in. That's cool. I went to a turkey shoot. I think I was like 14. And my dad had a long gun. He had a Model 700 Remington 22-250. And this gun was sweet. He had the trigger pull just dialed in. It was just polished, bedded barrel, just awesome. And they had a competition called the 100-yard bench rest. So the old man goes, "What do you think about joining this? Doing this one?" And I was like, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, you can take my spot." Little did I know, because I used to shoot a lot with Pops, was Pops knew that I had a good chance of beating some of these guys that were shooting high-end Brownings, high-end Weatherby. I mean, they had some nice rigs. And he was doing side bets on the side. "Hey, I bet my 14-year-old boy beats old Herb over there." So at the end of these shoots, even if I didn't make it to the final shoot, he still made money side betting that paid for the hobby, which was so cool. But we used to travel the state on the weekends, and I used to shoot the long gun. After a while, he just gave up shooting it. He was like, "Nah, you do it." And I used to shoot the rifle, the bench rest. He would shoot the handgun, and we would just, every weekend, we would just travel. And he would get off work, summertime, get home, have dinner waiting for him. I'd be loading the truck. We had a gravel pit that was about 3 miles from the house that we had our bench rest and we had a range all hooked up on. And then we'd just haul out there till the sun went down, and we'd shoot almost every day unless we had some little side hustle job going on, because Dad had a garage at the house where we used to work on small engines and all that. So maybe I'll do a video series just called Story Time with Wingman. We could do that, and I could tell funny stories, because I got a bunch of them of just crazy hunting stories, crazy fishing stories, just campy, good, just stuff that happens when you're out in the woods. My mom also, back in the day, avid hunter, avid fisherman. She was actually a lot of times a better hunter than Pops or I, because she learned from my grandfather, who was a French-Canadian logger who immigrated to the States in the 1920s. And he's got a cool story too, that I could do a video on, about him leaving home at 12 years old to go to the Yukon to find his brother during the gold rush, and him jumping on a train, the Trans-Canadian Railway, and making his way out to Alaska to find his brother out in the gold fields at 12 years old. So that would be a cool story as well. But a lot of cool history, a lot of good stuff, and just glad I had a chance to share it with you guys tonight. We're coming up on the hour mark. If you guys have any questions, real quick, I'll try to answer them. If not, then we'll close this bad boy out. But we're coming up on Halloween. We're coming up on Thanksgiving. If I don't do another live show before then, I hope you guys have a great holiday season. When they start putting all the pumpkin spice stuff out, then oh my gosh, it's over. The holidays are upon us. I'm seeing pumpkin spice Hostess Twinkies, and I'm like, really? Pumpkin spice Hostess Twinkies and cupcakes? What is this world coming to? But this is the world we live in now. Pumpkin spice Hostess. So with that, I want to thank you folks for watching. Let's see, Maine and the Mohawk Indian Heritage. That would be cool. A lot of people don't know through my mom's side, the French Canadian side, my grandparents. Just real quick, then I'll cut it. My grandparents' last name was Levesque, Levesque, French name for actually bishop. But on that French Canadian side, they have Micmac Indian, a derivative of the Micmac Indian tribe, is called Wiskit-Sipu, which is up in Aroostook County, up in the St. John River area, which leads right into the Allagash Wilderness Waterway, all that area. So I have some Wiskit-Sipu, Micmac Indian in me. I think I have a little bit more than Elizabeth Warren, but I'm not going to go out there and brag about it. But you know, it's comedy, so I hope you folks don't get offended by that. But no, that's just something like my mom's telling me stories on stuff like that. So that explains a lot with my grandfather, with my grandmother, and just growing up in northern Maine. So with that, have a blessed evening. Have a great holiday season with your family and friends. Be safe. Have fun. Keep watching the videos. I'm not going to let you down. I'm going to keep putting out quality content. And when word comes out on the Mount Laguna hunting knife, you guys will be the first to know. So, with that, take care, folks. And I will see you, hopefully, if I can shut this off, soon. Take care. If I can figure out how to shut it off.